Luigi's Mansion began life as a tech demo. It was a video showcasing what the GameCube's power in games would be like to investors at E3. While originally a tech demo, Nintendo decided for some reason to make this into a full-fledged game to run with the 3D capabilities of the GameCube that the GameCube was supposed to have. However, the 3D function of the GameCube was eventually dropped, but luckily Luigi's Mansion was ported over to the 3DS. The 3DS port is reported as being harder with some changes, locations, and some minor differences. The big pull is co-op. And you know, I don't have many friends who could play the 3DS with, so with that, I'll be focusing on the original GameCube hit. I don't own the 3DS version at the moment either, so I haven't actually played it, and I can't really comment on it as of yet. Nonetheless, Luigi's Mansion was a game that I got early in my GameCube playing experience, because I got it for Christmas one year. I ended up with a GameCube, Luigi's Mansion, and Smash Bros. Melee and Pikmin is a great Christmas. However, I also know this game is shorter than most too. I ended up beating the game in a week, and there was, some in-between with Smash Brothers, figuring out Pikmin. It wasn't the hardest game ever, but I remember it being fairly fun. Still, I didn't exactly pick up Luigi's Mansion 2, nor have I bought the remake, or, 3, since 3 just came out the same day this video came out, so I think I can be forgiven for that one. Regardless, it is Halloween. I'm dressed as a psychopath this year, and I'm ready to throw down with the booze. Let's take on King Boo! So the game begins. Luigi won a mansion somehow, and Mario, suspicious of the intention of it, goes to check it out. Now Mario is missing. Dog? Why are you laughing? Ugh, weird dog of mine. Anyway, Luigi decides to go check out the mansion himself after, Mario never returns. He ends up meeting Professor Egad in the mansion while dealing with his fear of ghosts. Egad remembers Mario and offers to help since the mansion just kind of appeared randomly outside of his humble abode one day. Turns out Egad has been ghost hunting for a long time. He had a collection of ghosts sealed in pictures, but the boos came in and freed all of those ghosts. Now it is up to Luigi to find Mario, return the portrait ghosts, and stop the boos. In the mansion, Luigi finds the ghosts are all in there while the boos are napping, waiting for Luigi to show up. Luigi also learns that King Boo captured his brother, put him in a picture like a ghost, and that Bowser is somehow involved. Luigi does this by finding a bunch of items and giving them to a fortune teller, who's also a ghost. Eventually, Luigi tames the mansion, defeats enough boos to break King Boo's hold on the mansion, and tackle the king head on. The king actually has a Bowser disguise, like from the first Mario Brothers? Yeah, this makes Bowser the final boss of sorts when your target is King Boo. Basically, you fight Bowser, but you're trying to capture King Boo, who's inside the Bowser costume. Yeah, it's kind of weird. After defeating the king, Luigi saves Mario. They have a tearful reunion. And Luigi builds a real house with the treasure that he found around the place. So is the plot good? It certainly is original. Instead of a princess, you're saving Mario. And instead of Bowser, you're facing off against ghosts. Even though Bowser's still kind of in the plot somehow. It is a simple pop, but is fun enough, and saving the biggest Nintendo hero certainly is motivation enough for most people to press onward. Meanwhile, Luigi is facing the thing that he fears the most, ghosts. Yeah, Luigi is portrayed in this game as being incredibly afraid of spirits. This game likes to down on Luigi, calling him a coward and whatnot, and he does shake a lot and get startled very easily in the game. But he's facing his biggest fear. Not only that, he is defeating his greatest fear to save his brother. Luigi is pretty awesome in this game. King Boo also is characterized as having a bit of fun with his enemies, wanting to torture and scare Luigi and Mario rather than just destroying them. He is intelligent, cunning, and wants Mario as a furniture piece like he's playing Animal Crossing. He also holds a Bowser outfit to help him, fight you. Egad is characterized as a friendly ghost-hunting old man. There isn't anything more to him, but the way he talks is charming. Last but not least, all the portrait ghosts. They are family and literally all have their own personalities and charm to them. While some are simple, some are also very morbid. This guy, he ate himself to death. This baby died before even being born. This girl literally died in her sleep. While not super terrifying, this game can be very unsettling for kids. Regardless, it is all interesting stuff, even when short and simple, making the game stand out with charming characters. Luigi's reactions, music, it's all really appealing here. So when talking about the gameplay, this game is tug of war. That's it. You find a ghost, you surprise them with a flashlight, and play tug of war until they're caught. Just like that one movie. It's a bit more complex, sure, as pulling the C stick and the control stick in opposite directions the ghost is fleeing sucks them up faster, but it's literally tug of war. There's a short tutorial, but it doesn't really exactly prepare you for the trials ahead, as pulling on ghosts is harder than it probably should be due to obstacles in the level. You can often pull on more than one ghost at a time, making it harder to catch the ghost, but it gives you a health heart, as Luigi has a health meter in this game. Yeah, health is abundant in the game, but it's still nice to see something other than, the typical mushroom power-up, which are mostly absent. I say mostly because the poison mushrooms return to wreak havoc on you for stronger ghosts. So if the combat is tug of war, how does something like that stay interesting for a full game? 1, the game is really short. 2, combat isn't exactly the main focus of the game. No, this game is more of a puzzle game than anything. You have access to a device called the Game Boy Horror that can be used to view things in first person while, looking at how to progress. It can also kind of find information on portrait ghosts, so it's pretty useful. While regular ghosts are just typical waves of unique enemy types that bring new threats the further you dive into the mansion, portrait ghosts are more like puzzles. You often find them in a unique room, and it's up to you to figure out how to stun them with your flashlight and capture them. They are bulkier than normal foes and drop poison mushrooms while you fight them. Once you know what to do, they aren't hard to deal with, but each portrait ghost has a different objective that will stun them. I only saw 2 ghosts that had similar circumstances. This billiard ghost right here and Grandma over here. Both have to be shot 3 times at their own attack. Everything else is pretty different, from easy things like wanting a ghost to yawn and moving a curtain to smacking a ghost with punching bags and dodging icicle attacks while unthawing it. Obviously, level design plays a huge part here. Seriously though, some of these ghosts are like mini boss fights. It kind of reminds me of Legend of Zelda in a way, actually. Some of these rooms are built to be tough to capture the spirits, as they can put you in furniture and break away by slamming you into things. They can't hurt Luigi while being captured as long as they don't drag him, but some of these ghosts even have attacks that you have to deal with. They are some ghosts who can be annoying to capture, and the regular enemies aren't exactly exciting either. Look, regular ghosts have several different types, normally being ghosts that punch and have a varying strength and health meter. The same thing, but an element that you need to counter with another element, similar to Pokemon. There are these trash cans that can throw banana peels and ghosts that can grab you from behind. They try to change things up with ghosts being invisible unless you can see them through a huge mirror or a projector, but this doesn't happen very often. Since I brought it up, let's talk about elements. Through your mansion travels, you're gonna find tokens that allow you to basically use elements. More or less fire, ice, and water, and they can technically be used for combat. You can do a quick blast of the element or a steady stream. This is okay against normal ghosts, but not good with anything else. It's mostly used for puzzle solving and treasure hunting, which is the best thing about the level design if I'm to be honest. However, sometimes they make you use the element in a boss fight. There are 4 boss fights, and I like about 2 of them. Chansey is a great first boss, and Bogmire is fun. King Boo technically isn't bad, but I'm a bit salty though. See, most boss fights you can suck up a ball or something at a distance. King Boo in his Bowser costume throws bombs that you're supposed to shoot back at them. Unlike Chansey's balls, however, you can't suck them up from a distance. You need to walk up to them and touch them. Nothing really warns you about this, and it happens out of nowhere, because it doesn't happen anywhere else in the game, that I can recall anyway. Also, when sucking King Boo into the vacuum, the Bowser head floating around snipes you from off-screen sometimes, so be careful of that. The final fight is a beginner's trap, and I dislike it, but once you know what to do and look out for, it's not that bad and can be a pretty fun fight. But don't get me started on Boolossus. Ugh. It's like when you like a new soda flavor and they discontinue it as soon as you like it. You're supposed to shoot ice at smaller boos that make up the large boss fight. However, they flee from your ice stream. It is so slow that it often misses, especially if there aren't many of them left. And if you think you can just use the blast, that's incredibly difficult to aim due to the camera and the fixed camera angle. Depth perception is your main enemy in this game. This fight drags on, and trying to catch that last boo while the little pain in the neck is taking pot shots at you. Ugh. Don't expect to get a gold frame from this ghost your first time facing him. Or your second. Or your third. Since I just brought up gold picture frames, let me explain how they work. In boss fights and portrait ghosts, you can get your pictures framed. In boss fights, if your health doesn't fall below 90, you get a gold frame showing how awesome you did. There's also silver and bronze ranks too for boss fights. Basically, the lower your health, the more likely you are to get a bronze rank, and the higher your health, the more likely you are to get silver and gold. Each frame also gets a different picture, which is kind of neat. You can also see how well you dealt with regular portrait ghosts too. If you drain 90 points of health from them in one capture attempt, you will earn that nice golden frame picture. You will also earn a big pearl from them, which is nice. Yeah, you get paid for capturing the portrait ghosts. The longer you are trying to suck them up, the more pearls you get, and you get bigger ones worth more money too. Each room normally has little areas you can find money in. If you really want Luigi loaded, you can find some big secret cash catches. First, there are golden mice. You can find them in blocks of cheese in the game, but you can only see these with the Game Boy Horror. There are about 5 of them that I know of. Scan the cheese and a mouse will run out. Catch the golden mouse in your vacuum and you get a cash bonus. Same with the blue ghosts. These things are hiding in furniture. You dry hump the furniture they're hiding in, and they will leap out and shock you. If you're fast enough, you can catch them for a large treasure payout. If you aren't fast enough, these fast-moving buggers are incredibly hard to catch, but are worth it in cash alone. If you're still strapped, remember some rooms and hallways will also randomly spawn golden mice, which will also drop treasure. More gold, you say? Well, watering plants usually yields money. And if you take care of this big flower with your water, you can get a ton of money from it, as well as a golden diamond, the best gem in the game. You can get another by catching every boo in the game. Once you free them, boos tend to hide in rooms that are lit up. Keep humping the furniture and you'll eventually find them. But the Game Boy Horror does have a radar on it for this specific reason. You have to catch a lot of them to beat the game. I think you need about 80% of them, but catching them all... it's an outright pain. Seriously, some of these boos have huge health pools, making them annoying. If that wasn't bad enough, if you don't catch them fast enough, and you often won't with the later boos, they just straight up leave the room. In the attic, this is annoying because the boos have massive health pools, the rooms are small, and the hallways connecting the rooms are smaller. Also, you have to walk around a lot because they'll just straight up go through walls, and there's a fake door there. No, you have to go all the way around. It's an absolute drag. There's also 2 hidden rooms, one of which you need to scan a mouse hole, which will teleport you to the room, and the other can be reached from the rooftop. There is also the very rare optional portrait ghost. Yes, you don't have to catch every portrait ghost. I think there's about 5 you can pretty much just skip. But oftentimes you'll see them and you won't realize that they're actually optional. Most give you a key when you defeat them, or one of Mario's 5 hidden items you need to beat the game. But the optional ones give you treasure. With all this cash, what does Luigi do with it? Does he buy new vacuum upgrades? No. He buys a real mansion. I ended up with a rank A, the best rank, which my friends from the PAL region can't get without a second playthrough. The second playthrough is basically a hard mode of sorts. You can replay the game, and it can net you more cash from this, but the ghosts are kinda harder to deal with. This is the easiest way to get rank A, the best house in the game, or the only way to get it in Europe. I think I've been droning on long enough, so let's try and wrap this up. If I had to give this game a score, I'd probably feel that an 8 out of 10 is the fairest score I can give it. It's a good game. To most, it's a very great game. But it isn't anything life-changing either. If you like finding treasure and secrets, puzzle solving, tug of war, and exploration, you're on the right page with this game. I also, figure the story is pretty original with Luigi saving Mario. Why are you laughing and wearing a Freddy Krueger outfit? I'm your worst nightmare. No, I've pretty much had worse. Anyway, the game has a staggering amount of charm in it. Even the hidden song that you can find in this control menu, it's charming because, you can find it in many other different games, just saying. However, I think the enemies are lacking a lot, and while the puzzle elements make up for this, the waves of enemies lack creativity, and the game can get kind of dull when you're in fights. The boss fights are okay with some decent ones, and bosses, and the gameplay to fight them is mostly one mechanic used again and again. Only things like chair placement really hurts your odds on catching ghosts, or when you have to shoot the rare projectile at them. As long as those aren't deal breakers, try the game out if you can get an old GameCube. Or maybe try the 3DS version? While I haven't played it, I also hear it's not as good as the original GameCube's version, but I also hear that it will do in a pinch. But that's all the time I have today. King Boo is soundly defeated, never to return in a 3DS sequel or a Switch title coming out today. Or return in Mario Sunshine while on LSD. Yeah, he never comes back. Don't at me. Don't look it up. Just believe me. If you like the video, please leave a like, comment, which always helps. Subscribe, which helps nothing. And hit the bell for actual notifications on my channel's work. Hopefully next main review, I'll be returning to the Legend of Zelda series. It is November coming up after all. I'm currently working on beating every main single-player Zelda game while I hype myself at Breath of the Wild 2, so, you can always stay tuned for that. The next victim of my fight is Vati, but if you want my opinions on Demise, this game's, Skyward Sword, or how Girahim would work in Smash Brothers, both of those videos should be up on screen by the time I'm saying this. Until next time, take care, my minions. Oh, and, happy Halloween. Bye-bye!